Hey folks, fWhip here, and today I want to show you all how I created a texture pack for Minecraft 1.19. The Wild update has arrived, and one part of Minecraft that I've always felt is a little lacking is the lushness of the foliage. So I've taken it upon myself to transform Minecraft into the game I want to see while I'm playing. The best part about Minecraft is that it's a sandbox game, so we can make it look like exactly how we want it to be. With the release of 1.19, I'm extremely happy to say that I've finished up the pack, or well, I'm finishing up the pack right now, and I'm very happy to share it with my community. So anybody who is a Patreon supporter or YouTube member of the main fWhip channel, join the Discord, link your account, and you'll be able to get the download. Now here are some examples of the flowers. You can see dandelions right in here. We got alliums completely redesigned right over here. There are at least 3 to 4 variations of each of them. Custom leaves getting a little bit of a bushiness, sugarcane, wheat, mushrooms, both brown and red, and I'm also working towards the nether foliage as well. It's just not quite done yet. Now I'm currently in the process of updating all of the tulips. I've already done the red and the white, and I've got the pink and the orange, and while I was doing that, I was like, you know what, maybe it's a good idea to record this for a video. So before we dive into how to create those textures, let's get the rough part done, the entire file setup process. It's a little technical, but just hang in there with me, okay? Creating the file system for the texture pack itself can be really annoying if you don't know what you're doing. But if you have a program like WinRAR or 7-zip, you can go to your .minecraft folder, which can be done within Minecraft itself, options, resource packs, open pack folder. From here, you want to step back one page to your .minecraft folder. Right inside of here now, we can jump into the versions. For this, I'm going to go down to 1.19 pre-5 because that's the latest that I've opened at this point. If you don't have the executable jar file in here, go ahead and open that version of whatever one you're using, probably the 1.19 release, and then you right click on it, open with WinRAR or 7-zip, whichever you're using. Now, inside of here, go ahead and open the assets folder and then Minecraft from there. This is the entire texture pack name frame that you could ever need. Since I already have it, I don't need to download this, but all you'd have to do is do this, right click, and you're gonna want to extract to a specific folder. Back in here now, we can jump into the foliage updates, and this is pretty much everything you got. Assets leads to Minecraft, which then leads to all those folders that we had inside of there. Now, it's very important to understand the flow of this. The hierarchy goes from block states right here, which pushes the textures into the game and tells the game what to do, or what to show, I should say. But block states gets all of its information here from the models files, which the models files themselves get their information from the texture files. So always remember, textures lead into models, which leads into block states, and you'll be okay. Now let's look at a quick example that I literally just did, the red tulip. Now, I did delete everything in here that I'm not actively using from that big assets dump that I had you download earlier, so it makes it a little bit easier to move through. There's a lot less files in here. I created a third texture for the red tulip, so you can see in here we have red tulip, we have red tulip double, and we have red tulip small. Taking a look in Photoshop now, you can see this red tulip, that's the original one. We've got the small, which is actually the original one in Minecraft, and then here I have the new one that I just created, which back in the folders now is named red tulip double. Underscores are your friend. Do not use spaces here. Now from here, we want to jump back into the models and then into blocks. Technically, because it's being put into the world, it's a block. The item one in here is anything that you would hold, like a totem of undying, a pickaxe, a sword, or whatever it might be in there. Now inside of here, we want to scroll all the way down until we find our red tulips. I made one here that's red tulip double, but let's open them both up. This is what the folder looks like as default. We're going to display it as a cross in game because that's how the flowers work, right? We all kind of know that in Minecraft. And then this is the original one looking inside of Minecraft. Then the block folder, which you can see inside of here, going textures, and then we go into block, that's where they all are. And in this case here, we're looking for red tulip. But if we were to change this to red tulip double, that would display the new one that I just created. So doing that and a quick save as, and you do red underscore tulip underscore double dot JSON, or whatever you want to name it. It doesn't really matter, but do something that's going to make sense to you moving forwards if you open all these files back up, because now we're going to jump into block states. We're inside of here. We want to go down and find the red tulip itself. Also, there's a different texture for the potted ones that you can mess with later, but I don't want to get too complicated here. Let's do the basics. Actually, we are showing the potted one because I've changed the other one. It's a lot more complicated. This is what it looks like by default. All we're looking for is the variant inside of here, which is going into the model folder looking for the Minecraft block potted red tulip. That's inside of the model block folder path that we were just in, not the texture one. Gets a little complicated, but you'll get the hang of it. Now let's look at the crazy one that I'm using to display all of the flowers in game. If you be very cautious with the commas and everything, you put them after every single line on the very end because you're ending it. You're not adding anything together. But what we have inside of here is we have 3 variants. So we have model, 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 red tulip, small, and double. Inside of this, we're going to say for every 4 tulips that you put inside the world, we want 2 of them to be the base, we want 1 to be the small, and we want 1 to be the double. So we get a good amount of variety in there, with most of them being that bigger texture I've created. After all those guys are in there, you got to keep all the brackets organized and everything like that. It's programming stuff, I know. But then all 3 of these textures that we have in here, we can come back into Minecraft and you can see them displayed there, and they will randomize based off of where you're putting them. They're always going to be the same, so every time you break this, it's going to be that individual one due to how Minecraft shows it in the game, but that's more or less how they work. Now let's walk through the process of creating something brand new as another example here. This time we're using the orange tulips. Then you'll be off to the races to fail a few hundred times before you get it right, like I did. Starting from a blank slate, I like to close everything down inside of Photoshop. From here, back in the folders, we're going to go ahead and find our orange tulips right here. Wow, I had to relearn the alphabet. Okay, we're going to pull that into Photoshop, zoom in on it, and you can see that right here. That's one that I've already created, but we want a brand new one. So that I can keep the same Minecraft color palettes in here, I'm going to go ahead and pull in the small one as well. And using some Photoshop magic, we can have that just kind of hovering over here off to the side. And that we can color sample from. Then now we can move forward with the process of creating a brand new texture. The final step here before I actually get started on making things is I want to keep a similar format to what I just did on the double over there, because we're going to do another double inside of here. So we've pulled that guy in, we've got our orange inside of here, and it's time to jump in. I use a tablet to be able to draw, but you can kind of do whatever you want. With this, we're going to start with some flowers, maybe like one right in here, and then we're going to do another one right up in here. From this, color sample the green, and then we can create our stem coming all the way down. Now we just make the shapes. It's a pretty simple process from here, but we end up with a half decent result. This example, we'll go ahead and just do this. Now in this case, we want to export this image and throw it right inside of the block folder where we have all of our other textures, renaming it with the double format that I've been using everywhere else. Back in the folder, you can now see all 3 of them. Now inside of models, the next step in the process, I'm gonna open up the orange tulip small since it's basically there, and all I need to do is change this word to double, save as, change this to double, and save as a JSON file. If that doesn't show up for you, you go ahead and type in .json right like that, and it'll work. That is as long as you're selecting all files from this list. Now over in the block states itself, opening up the orange tulip one in here, we can go ahead and copy this entire line so that we don't have to retype the whole thing. That's inside of here. I did add the comma to the end, so otherwise it doesn't break and you get a syntax error. All we do is change that small to a double and then save. Now you can really quickly retest this stuff in Minecraft with an F3T on Java Edition, and this will reload all of your textures. And then we can see our brand new one right in here. Let me see if I can get the default in as well. It's a little repetitive sometimes, so if you have a lot of variations here, it's a little difficult to test things. So sometimes you want to create a test world or a test pack that only has the one. But in this case, here's our 3 flower textures that we have. I really love the idea of having, there's 1 flower, 2 flowers, and 3 flowers in that. So it looks like we have a little growing bunch from small to big. Another test that I like to do, because I love having colorful fields, is if I were to stretch them out like this, does it start to look repetitive and can you still tell what the flower is? In this case, I think it actually looks really nice. Granted, I'm a little colorblind when it comes to reds and greens and the tones inside of there, so maybe y'all let me know down in the comments. Now, the final thing that I really recommend doing is keeping some sort of a note, whether it's in a Google Doc, a Trello board, whatever you want to do, of everything that you're trying to update so you don't really overlap on things. In this case, I just use literally a sticky note on my desktop. And now, orange tulip's done. That's checked off the list. Here's the rest that I gotta do to finish for 119. So I'll get all that stuff finished up here and it'll be ready by the time this video is out. But thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any questions and things like that, there's an amazing community out there. I probably won't be able to get back to every single person in here. A lot of people really do a lot of texture packing things. And if you ask, there's a few Discords for it and everything like that. And there are plenty of places to get help. Or even if you ask in my own, we've got a lot of people in here who know what they're talking about and have helped me figure out a lot of issues. So good luck. Leave a like if you did enjoy, if you found this helpful, and be sure to subscribe to fWhip 2 if you have not. We're getting it to 100K this year. It will happen, I swear. But with that, my friends, I'll catch you all on the fWhip side.